Hi, this is Kathy. I'm going to talk a little bit about making my paper collage. There's a lion in the house. Here's the finished piece. It was about 22 inches wide by about 30 inches from the very top to the bottom. I did it for a client named Kelly Clark. She was doing it as an anniversary gift for a partner, and she had seen one of my other lions and really liked it and wanted me to do something similar, but just larger. So I started out with a drawing. I had a clip art of a lion. I enlarged it in Photoshop and printed it out, enlarged, and then used some tracing, carbon paper to transfer the placement of the eyes, nose, mouth, etc. onto the paper. So I had like an accurate um, dimensions for the lion's face. And I also did the grid, penciled in the grid background in half-inch squares for the colored paper. Then I added some um, shadows to show a little bit of the values where I wanted the dark paper to go first. I figured I'd put the dark paper down first and then build on top of that. So that's about when I was ready to start working on it. So I lifted up that's the printout from the computer. I lifted that up and then made the actual drawing onto the acid-free paper. And then I added some shadows on here and used that as the base of the collage. So here I started adding on some dark paper. And starting added the colored paper gradually, and you're just going to see like a transition from beginning to end now. So that's the other piece, which was the background. When I did attach the two, I used a little bit of spacers to give it a little bit of a 3D look. You know, above the line would sit a little bit above the um, the paper. Sorry, I got a little bit mixed up here. There's a little close-up of the paper. So it was just paper upon paper. I'm using a lot of color aid paper here. I used magazine paper and a bunch of different just random acid-free papers and some gold foil. And I think you can see some pictures of lions in the background that I'm using as, looking at for inspiration there. So getting a little closer to it actually looking like a lion. Oops, did I skip? Not sure if I skipped one. Sorry about that. Kind of going back and forward here. Forgive me, I'm new at Canva, and this is like the 20th take, so I think we're going to just stick with this one. There's my little workstation there. I kind of would cut all the different papers out, and with my acid-free glue, and then maybe the next session actually start applying the papers. That's tracing paper around the eyes, the petals around the eyes there. The eyes probably took the longest, as well as the background grid. So I'm working on actually a large packing box, which is larger than my table. So it actually came in handy to have that large space to work on. So here I'm putting, I guess, the lion on top of the background to see how it's coming along. Really, really enjoyed working on this. Just a little close up to show a little bit of 3D. Before I started putting the whiskers on, I'd cut out the papers for whiskers, twisted some white paper around to give it a little 3 dimensions. I ended up not using the gold wire. I felt like it was a little too heavy. I think this is actually what I sent Kelly for approval. I felt like it was done at this point, and she liked it. Kelly made a couple suggestions. Ultimately, we agreed to keep it as it was. And then when I took pictures of it, I realized I wanted to fill in some of the whiskers. She wanted me to add some more paper to the mustache, so I did that. and basically ended up adding a lot more paper to the outside of the mane, which is what Kelly had wanted. And so I went ahead and did that. And I really was happy with the finished piece. The beard was filled in more and more mustache hairs, and just a lot more 3D dimensions. And I was really happy with it. Kelly is too. I learned a hard lesson about shipping to Canada. It's very expensive. Really have to take that into consideration. Again, international shipping. Really needed to learn more about it, but it was all a great learning experience. So this is the finished piece, and that's a little picture of me holding it. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again on some future recordings.